right now is to make sure that we have as big a reach as possible in the most efficient way possible as well. And like I had mentioned earlier about expanding our asset class, and this is some of the partnerships that we're engaging in is really for that, is to increase the reach of assets that we have access to, and so by doing, increase the utility of Vera at the same time.
Great. Yeah, and as your background is very strong on the technical part, could you give us what's your vision on releasing the VGV token, and you know just expanding? Perhaps we could expand to other chains like Ethereum. What do you think of that? What did you say to the community regarding to that?
Absolutely. I mean, that's been a question really right now with the community is why Solana, right? And really at the end of the day, we really liked Solana for a couple of reasons. Number one is the transactions per second, that's obvious, as well as having that hackathon to get that initial exposure, right? But we're very cognizant of the fact that Solana is relatively a minor chain in the grand scheme of DeFi, right? When you look at really big chains, you think Ethereum, right? Immediately you think Binance, you think BSC, even Polygon, Avalanche, all these other chains that are becoming more and more popular provide potentially good alternatives, not only alternatives, but a good expansion point again to this idea of widening our grasp as well as our community. So we are really heavily going to be focusing on, and maybe a little bit past 3 months, more going into the longer term, is taking a look at some of these chains, right? Taking a look at Ethereum, and creating a protocol on Ethereum as well. It's something that we're exploring right now, and it'll take a little bit of time, but it is something that we are committed to delivering as well. So it's not going to be a Solana only type of thing. We do want to have as many options as possible. And our VGV token, our governance token, is just going to be more valuable as we progress into more options and more ways to acquire Vera.
Those are great points. Yeah, um, I think, yeah, you know, we touch the main points, roadmap, why Vera is powerful, the roadmap kind of for the next 3 months, which is mainly release of our governance token, coming with meaningful advisors, relationships, and investors. Josh touched the points on why it's important to expand, you know, our our chain reach, like why it would be important to go to Ethereum or other chains, and that covers mostly as an overview and a first AMA, which is very exciting for everyone participating here. Thanks guys for joining, and I think maybe we should open for some questions if you wanna send either on DM or on the group or on the main chat. We'll be waiting for the questions and then we can answer them now. And as you know, I think total there's 5 people, so everyone here will get a merch as we promised. Uh, you guys can DM after the after the conversation, and then I'll definitely provide
Okay.
to you. Um, does anyone have like a specific question that would like to ask? You can send me on DM too if you don't want to say here, or you can just ask directly.
Yes, hello. A question about the Russian community in Telegram. I don't know if you have one, but I couldn't search nothing about Russian people or Russian version of Vera. I don't know if it exists.
I see. So we have the members collaborating. They're collaborating. They're helping us a lot, and we have Artyom, who I believe is from. He hasn't mentioned the city, but he's definitely from Russia, and he helped me to translate some of the content that we have posted, which was the architecture we're gonna release soon, and we already released how the price of Eta works in Russian. I don't know if you had the chance to read them, but we don't have a specific community for the Russian groups. We have a channel on Discord that I can direct you to, which is just for Russian speakers. And then we have Fury, one of our admins. He controls the channel, and he's from Russia, and he can answer any official community for us. We would like to have, but right now we just have a channel on Discord, which has been kind of active. Like people have asking questions there, talking to each other. Uh, I receive some questions on the M. I can be answering them. But if that answers your question, Alina, um, no official Russian community. We have a lot of things coming in translation, and we have the channel on Discord.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Thanks for the question.
So,
My question, I write you damn.
sorry, what was the question?
My
Oh, you
question,
wrote it,
I
right?
write you damn message.
Okay, let me send to Josh too, so both of us can have it. Um, just give me 1 second. So let's start with the first one. What next step should we expect, and what should we prepare for? Very next step is a testnet. So right now we are on DevNet. DevNet is very important because it's everything that we work for. We put together, and testnet will be the let's call it. There'll be a verified version of our first step. So when we have a testnet, essentially we have implement whatever flaws we have on the DevNet. We can make it better and then launch on on the testnet. Josh can speak more about the technical part, but essentially the very next step is testnet and meaningful partnerships. Uh, which investors? He also asked Josh what which investors are interested in our project. Um, I think it's important to answer that. Um, we have been contacted by several early stage companies. That will be our main focus over the next months. But right after we launch on the hackathon, we had some meetings with early stage fund providers that were interested in hear more about our project. How they could collaborate. They're interested in the solutions that we have. Uh, so if that answers the very next question, the benefit to the community, you guys are very early stage. You'll be rewarded for participating, giving us feedback. So when we have the launch of the VGV token, which is our governance token, there will be reward to the community and reward to everyone who's providing us with feedback, being on the AMAs, reading our content, helping us to expand. So everyone will be rewarded. That's, I think, the main value to the community. And being early stage on a project that has such a potential, that just gives you a lot of upside on anything that we do. There it's still available. It's already available on the app. You can use it as a DevNet. You can test it with Faucet USD. So when you use our application, immediately gives you airdrop of USD. This USD you can only use on the app, and then you can purchase Vera, and it's already working. It's been up since I'd say since mid October.
There is a bunch of sorry, Hannah, just to jump in here about the utility
Yeah.
and testing it. There's a bunch of videos that I have a series on Telegram that I had posted, and we're going to be creating a Medium article on that shortly. So expect that in the next day or so. Basically, what I'm planning to do is break down all the various different steps on how you can get it working now on testnet. Obviously, to use it in a real world application, you need to wait for mainnet. And mainnet, right now, we have it as 3 months out from today is when we're looking to go live with mainnet. So our vision, again, the roadmap is going to go to testnet. When we go to testnet, we're going to have another series of testing. Right, that's going to be some more opportunity to contribute and earn some VGV. And then once we finish those, we're going to be looking for some features that the community is requesting, maybe build in some of those features that are potentially going to be useful. And then once we have that solidified from a technical point of view, get it audited, making sure it's secure, make sure we have as wide a breadth of market classes as we can to really have the truest representation of Vera that is currently possible on chain. Then after that, we're going to be going into mainnet, and that's where we'll have, that that's really where the rubber meets the road and where we're going to really see how everything is going to explode. And we expect it to move quite fast at that point.
Yeah, and then the very next question from Sportmaster is, why exactly the market capitalization of Bitcoin, Apple stock, U.S. Treasuries, and gold do how they affect the price of Vera? So, just giving an overview, we're gonna take all asset classes in the world. So we have real estate, we have stocks, we have bonds, we have cryptocurrencies. We're gonna take them all, and then we're gonna divide them by how big they are in the market. So right now, around 50% of the world assets come from the U.S. In the U.S., most of the market is either bonds or stocks. So Vera, it's basically a perfect representation or an ideal. Let's not call it perfect, but let's call it ideal representation of what the world is. So every time you buy $1 Vera, this $1 goes and it splits into hundreds of different parts, and this $1 becomes an ideal representation of what our financial system is, and how the price, for example, of Apple stock affects Vera. So if Vera has a price, let's suppose, of $100, and Apple is responsible for 1% of that price, and let's suppose Apple stock goes to zero. So right now, Vera price goes to 99. Or let's suppose Apple stock goes, doubles in price. So Vera price goes to 101 because, it's responsible for only 1% price impact. Uh, those are great questions, by the way. Uh, I think I just received a question about partnerships or collaborations. I'll leave it up to Josh because I think he's very excited about announcing that and he can tell you more about it. But we are collaborating with a big protocol, and it's very nice to announce that on the AMA. So I'll leave it up to him to say, our thoughts and what we've been doing under the scenes,
So right
behind
now,
the scenes.
one of the biggest points of our project is going to be data, right? We understand that. So we have partnered with Chainlink to be able to provide us the data, and we are currently working